Welcome back to Tales of Thailand. If you're new here, this channel is where we share real-life Thailand travel stories, unforgettable experiences, and thought-provoking discussions about the land of smiles. Today's story comes from Ron, from England. Ron recently sent me an email describing what was meant to be a relaxing 2-week holiday to Thailand. Instead, it became a journey full of unexpected twists, close calls, memorable encounters, and a few mistakes he'll never make again. As always, I've slightly edited the story for clarity while keeping the heart of Ron's experience intact. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's hear Ron's incredible Thailand adventure. I went to Thailand for 2 weeks and nearly missed my flight home forever, and fell in love along the way. I had dreamed about Thailand for years. Every time work got stressful, I'd find myself watching videos of Bangkok's neon streets, the beaches of Krabi, and the buzzing nightlife of Pattaya. Eventually, after years of saying, maybe next year, I finally booked it. 2 weeks. That was the plan. Fly into Bangkok, spend a few days exploring, head to Pattaya, finish with a couple of nights on Koh Samet before flying home. Simple. At least, that's what I thought. The first few days were incredible. Everything felt exciting. The food, the weather, the smell of street food cooking late into the evening. Even crossing the road felt like an adventure. I quickly learned that pedestrian crossings were more of a suggestion than a rule. By day 3, I'd already developed a strange confidence. I was ordering food with terrible Thai pronunciation, bargaining at markets, and acting like I was some kind of seasoned traveler. Looking back, that confidence was completely undeserved. On my 4th day, I caught a bus to Pattaya. The journey was easy enough, and within a couple of hours I was checking into my hotel. The receptionist smiled. "First time in Thailand?" I nodded. She laughed. "Be careful. Many people come for 2 weeks, then don't want to leave." At the time, I thought she was joking. I didn't realize how right she was going to be. The first evening went perfectly. I explored Beach Road, watched the sunset, grabbed dinner, and spent hours simply walking around taking photographs. That's when I met her. She was working at a small beachfront smoothie stall, laughing with customers like she'd known them for years. When I ordered a mango smoothie, she teased me about my accent. "You say mango like you're scared of it," she said, smiling. I laughed. Maybe I am. Her name was Nok, and somehow that one smoothie turned into a conversation that lasted nearly an hour. Before I left, she wrote something on my cup. "Don't just travel. Remember to feel it." I didn't know it then, but that message would follow me for the rest of the trip. Back at the hotel that night, I realized something. My wallet wasn't in my pocket. Every traveler knows that feeling. You check one pocket, then another, then every pocket again. You suddenly become convinced that maybe wallets teleport. Mine hadn't. Panic set in. The wallet contained my bank cards, driving license, and most of my holiday cash. I retraced my entire route. Restaurant, beach, convenience store. Nothing. Just as I accepted it was gone forever, my phone rang. The hotel receptionist. "Someone has handed in your wallet." I couldn't believe it. Every note, every card, nothing missing. The man who found it refused a reward. He simply smiled and said, "One day, help someone else." That sentence stayed with me. A few days later, I decided to visit Sanctuary of Truth. The taxi driver spoke surprisingly good English. For nearly 40 minutes, we talked about life. He explained he'd once worked in construction but switched to driving because he wanted more time with his family. Then he asked me something unexpected. "Back home, are people happy?" It caught me off guard. I thought about it for a moment. "I think we're busy." He smiled. Busy isn't always happy. For some reason, that conversation hit harder than I'd expected. That evening, I went back to the smoothie stall. Nok was there again. She remembered me immediately. "You came back," she said. "I think I forgot something here," I replied. She raised an eyebrow. "Your smoothie?" I shook my head. "No, I think I forgot how to leave." She laughed, but there was something softer in her expression this time. We ended up walking along the beach for hours, talking about everything and nothing. She told me she had studied tourism but chose to stay in Pattaya to help her family. I told her I was only in Thailand for 2 weeks. She went quiet for a moment. "2 weeks is not long," she said. I smiled. "Maybe it's enough." She looked at me and said, "Sometimes people come for 2 weeks and stay in your memory forever." I didn't know what to say to that. The next morning, everything changed. Back at the hotel, I discovered my passport wasn't where I'd left it. Unlike the wallet, this wasn't just inconvenient. Without a passport, my holiday could become a nightmare. The room was turned upside down, suitcase emptied, every drawer searched. Nothing. I even checked inside shoes, twice. The hotel staff helped. Still nothing. Then I remembered. Earlier that afternoon, I'd photocopied my passport at a small travel shop. I rushed back. The shop was closed. I barely slept that night, and all I could think about was Nok's words. "Don't just travel. Remember to feel it." The next morning, I arrived before the shop opened. The owner recognized me immediately. Without saying a word, he reached beneath the counter and pulled out my passport. Apparently, I'd walked away after paying and completely forgotten it. I don't think I've ever felt relief like that. By now, I was beginning to think Thailand was testing me, but the biggest surprise hadn't happened yet. I headed to Koh Samet for the final few days. Paradise, crystal clear water, quiet beaches, no traffic. Exactly what I needed before flying home. And somehow, Nok was there too. I didn't expect it. She had taken a few days off and come to visit a friend on the island. When she saw me, she laughed. "You really can't leave Thailand, can you?" I smiled. "I think Thailand won't let me leave." We spent those days together, swimming, eating street food, talking about life back home versus life here. It felt easy in a way I hadn't expected, but there was always a shadow in the background. My flight home was getting closer. On the second afternoon, I rented a scooter. Now, I'd never ridden one before. Brilliant decision. For the first few minutes, everything was fine, until I took a wrong turn. The paved road became gravel. The gravel became sand. The sand became what can only be described as optimism. The scooter gently slid sideways. I wasn't hurt, just embarrassed. A nearby family rushed over asking if I was okay. Instead of laughing, they helped lift the scooter and even pointed me towards a safer route. Nok arrived moments later, out of breath. When she saw me covered in dust, she burst out laughing. "I leave you alone for 1 hour," she said, "and you try to become a Thai local." Even I had to laugh. That evening, heavy rain arrived, not ordinary rain, proper tropical rain. Within minutes, roads became streams. The island slowed to a standstill. Power flickered. Restaurants lit candles. Nok and I ended up sitting in a small beach cafe with a group of strangers, sharing food and stories while the storm raged outside. At one point, she looked at me and said quietly, "After this, you will go back to your life." I didn't answer straight away, because I didn't know what to say. Finally, departure day. I boarded the ferry back to the mainland feeling strangely emotional. Nok came to the pier to say goodbye. She handed me a small bracelet. "Don't forget to feel it," she said again. I promised I wouldn't, but I already knew I would miss her more than I expected. When I reached Bangkok airport, I checked the departures board. My flight wasn't there. I checked again. Nothing. Heart racing, I approached the airline desk. The staff member typed for a few seconds before smiling. "Sir, your flight is tomorrow." Tomorrow? I checked my booking confirmation. She was right. Somehow, I'd convinced myself I'd booked Friday. I'd actually booked Saturday. I had accidentally turned a 2-week holiday into 16 days, and now I had one more night in Bangkok, alone. Or so I thought. That evening, I walked through a night market near Sukhumvit, and then I heard a familiar voice. "You really are bad at leaving, aren't you?" It was Nok. She had come to Bangkok for one last day before I flew home. We ate street food together, walked through the city lights, and for a few hours it felt like time stopped, but eventually it always has to end. The next day, I finally boarded the correct flight. As the plane climbed into the clouds, I looked out of the window thinking about everything that had happened. Lost wallet, lost passport, unexpected conversations, scooter mishap, tropical storm, an extra day in Bangkok, and a holiday romance I never saw coming. None of those things had been part of my itinerary, yet they became the moments I remembered most. Travel isn't about having the perfect holiday. It's about collecting stories you'll still be telling years later. And sometimes it's about the people who make you wish the trip didn't have to end. When people ask me what Thailand was like, I don't start by talking about the beaches. I tell them about the people and one person in particular, because long after the tan fades and the souvenirs gather dust, those are the memories that stay with you forever. So, what do you think about Ron's adventure? Have you ever lost your passport or wallet while traveling? Have you ever accidentally booked the wrong flight or found yourself in a situation that turned into an unforgettable memory? I'd genuinely love to hear your own experiences, so let us know down in the comments. If you enjoyed today's story, please give the video a like, subscribe to Tales of Thailand, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next adventure. Until next time, safe travels and thanks for watching.